Yo, check this out, check this out.
You know, she was out to lunch. She was out to lunch when my parents taught me this. Did your parents teach you about dignity? Did your parents teach you about loyalty? Did your parents teach you about fidelity and life and family? Were you out to lunch when they said be a good person? Were you out to lunch when you said don't screw another person's husband? Were you out to lunch when you say put family first? You should be at least a little ashamed. You should be at least a little embarrassed. And on top of that, when you take somebody else's husband, don't point at her and said she lost her husband because she was out to lunch when my parents were teaching her the right lessons.
But
that's just
she
so
would have never
rude.
he would never been her husband. I understand, and I totally understand. When he first came to me, I said they're gonna blame me. As far as me being the sister, I'm the one that should know.
You know
better.
why we're blaming you? Because you're wrong.
Right.
But the marriage was already over.
And I knew that
Because
when he came to me.
reversed and her husband came to me, I'm like, you better get away from me.
And I
You're
did
my
for
sister's
years.
husband.
I didn't look him in the eye for
but
8
eventually
years.
you gave in, so it doesn't matter.
Because
Mr. Whitcomb, let me ask you a question.
All right.
How is your relationship with the remainder of this family, given your change of allegiance here?
Well, the older sister, of course, dislikes me because of the whole situation.
Oh, she never liked you before that.
Which I'm not worried about. But the main person I wanted to talk to was the father or whatnot, and I did, you know, with.
He don't like you either.
And what did he say?
He was like, as long as you guys are happy, and I take care of my children.
And have you been taking care of your children?
You won't let
Ms.
her see
Whitcomb,
them.
now, I'm giving you a little leeway because they did you ratchet and wrong, but you're gonna have to let me
Okay,
handle this
I
for
will.
you, okay?
Yeah.
So, do you take care of your children?
She allows it because the thing is like I was recently put on child support. I was giving her, you know, money orders and stuff like that. But I haven't been coming by just because of the situation, because she has a new fella that I've heard, or she kind of insinuated she was talking before I even left.
So big deal. What's that got to do with you not seeing the kids?
She won't let us.
It's the situation now, you know. It's always a fight.
Do
it's
you
always
not
name
let
calling.
him see children? And I'm gonna hop on you about that if that's true.
That is not the case. He has not. She's been put in jail for beating him up
Wow.
a few times this year.
Incorrect.
Are you serious?
Incorrect.
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 No.
Did you go to
lie.
jail this year?
I was there when they.
So the
hauled her
answer is
off.
yes. What was the charge?
It was assault cohabitant because we did have a place together. But the thing is, because he does have a conscience and I do as well, the fights would stem from her texting and putting things in his mouth as far as, you want to get back with the family, and Talia's holding me here.
So
and I
nothing you do is, no matter how ratchet or wrong, even if it's an arrestable offense, it's not your fault. It's her fault.
Exactly.
It's her fault for being weak. It's her fault for
It's just easy to
Thanks,
play victim
thanks.
for some people.
No, I'm not playing victim.
Before I get done with this thing, I'm going to ask you, Ms. Whitcomb, you came here, and I'm sure this is general principle money. I get that, and I understand that. But and I'll award it if it's appropriate. You want $300 to cover his porn bill. Explain that to me.
Wow.
I was in the hospital having our first daughter. So he takes off like pretty much almost as soon as she's born. And about 3 weeks later, I get our cable bill in. They had to have a separate page of all the porn movies that he had watched.
Mr. Whitcomb, what is your version of that event?
Yeah, I did order porn movies, but it wasn't no $300. But we didn't even have a sex life, and that was one of the reasons why
Then
I
how did
wanted-
we have a baby?
I'm talking about
she
before
just had
that.
a baby.
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about after that. You know, we didn't even have a sex life, so. And it wasn't no $300, but I could come up in here and start asking for all kinds of
Because he
bills
was
that
like,
she
hey,
ran
you
up
want to
and-
give me some?
How
I'm like,
old is
no.
your daughter?
She just turned 6 on Friday.
Okay.
No birthday
okay,
present,
okay.
by the way.
I got you.
But
You suffer the sin you sow, Mr. Whitcomb and Ms. Maryland, and I assume that you're going to suffer greatly at some future date. I don't know if he's going to find somebody else more attractive than you. I don't know if you're going to pop him in the head and go to jail. I don't know what's going to go on. But, Ms. Maryland, I would ask you to do this. I have this rule called the rule against teching. And teching is when you find in the whole existence of your sin and your failures and your faults and your wrong, you can find one little thing that you can attribute to somebody else, and you assert that absent that little wrong, oh, my great sin would not have happened. I asked you not to tech anymore. You have to face what you've done, or else it's going to fall all over you. You can't keep claiming grand greatness, goodness, when you're doing the wrong thing. You just can't. You should feel humbled and low and sad, and you should feel tacky and wrong and bad, and you should move on. But let me tell you something, you let that man see those kids. As long as he's a good father.
He's not, though. He's not.
Oh. Be a better man, Mr. Whitcomb. I don't know what's going on. So far, you showed up a jerk in here, right? Yeah. So far, you showed up a guy who does what he needs above what other people need. And to me, normally, that does not indicate good father material. You may have a piece of you separated out to be good, and you assert that for your children. That may very well be true, and I hope so. Yeah. I hope so, because
I just don't feel bad. I know she's my soulmate, and I am going to marry her. She's my best friend.
I got you. I know you don't feel bad. Attila the Hun never felt bad either. 6 years ago, he did too much porn. I can't tag him right now. I wish you'd have found something else, because I sure would have loved to give you some money, but I can't. Let him see those kids, be a better man, and find a conscience somewhere. There will be no recovery in this matter.